Hi guys, and welcome to Magic. In this video I'm going to be profiling the performance of Magic's HTTP REST endpoints. Here I have a bunch of endpoints which I have scaffolded using the Crudify menu item. I've scaffolded my Magic database, and then I have scaffolded this AnIQ database. I'm going to be publishing the database for others to see the schema of the database if you want to try to reproduce what I'm doing here. But basically I scaffolded the database using the default settings for all tables, and I chose Crudify all. So here are my endpoints. There are 82 endpoints, and then I have created a Postman collection, which you can see here, consisting of 10 heterogeneous HTTP requests. Pings, no authentication, then it invokes authenticate, then it invokes get case types, count case types, get cases, get languages, then it invokes get English translations with a limit of 1,000 records, may I add, and there's hundreds, if some 200 entities in this particular table. Then it creates a translation, posts, here you can see body, then it updates the translation, the translation entity it recently just created before that, and then it deletes the same translation. So it's a fairly homogeneous collection of HTTP requests, and there are 10 of them in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I'm going to be running this collection in Postman, and I'm going to iterate 100 times. Now, for those without a master degree in mathematics, that becomes 1,000 HTTP requests in total. And then I'm just going to remove these checkboxes. And then I'm going to be using my iPhone, and I'm going to be using the stopwatch on my iPhone to measure how many seconds this takes in total. Okay, so let's start. Ready, set, go. Here you can see the HTTP requests being sent and transmitted from Postman to my backend, my Magic backend. And as you can see, the average or median HTTP request execution time is like 10 to 15 milliseconds. Every now and then an HTTP request gets stuck and it takes more than 100, sometimes 200 and 300 milliseconds, but the median HTTP request here is definitely somewhere around 10 to 20 milliseconds. Of course, I'm on localhost and I'm using a significant amount of resources also on my MacBook Air, for the record, computer to run QuickTime. So also probably a lot of the machine's resources is already busy doing the QuickTime thing. 88%, 89%. And we're up to 1 minute and 3 seconds. Let's see what we're ending at. 97, and we ended up 1 minute and 8 seconds. Now let's find our calculator. And then of course that becomes 68 seconds in total. Okay, let's divide 1,000 HTTP requests, and let's divide it with 68 seconds. That becomes 14.7 HTTP requests per second, right? I assume you agree. Let's see the average request, 1,000 divided by 68 seconds. 68 divided by 1,000. So the average HTTP request here requires 0.068 seconds. That's 68 milliseconds is the average execution time. Of course, the median execution time would be much, much lower, because every now and then one HTTP request spends 200-300 milliseconds. But still, we're down to 68 milliseconds in average execution time for invoking heterogeneous HTTP requests towards the Magic backend. Now, I've never actually profiled Magic towards entity framework, but I have created a profile performance test previously where I measured its performance in relationship to the pure ADO solution, meaning SQL connection, SQL command, etc., and iterating the data reader manually using C#. And Magic was performing roughly plus 50%. It required a plus 50% overhead, meaning the amount of time required to invoke the average Magic HTTP request was plus 50% of the time required to invoke a pure ADO, SQL connection, SQL commands, HTTP REST backend web API. And since I happen to know that the ADO is roughly somewhere between 7 to 10 times as fast as Entity Framework, this implies that Magic is roughly 5 times faster than Entity Framework. Meaning, if we had done this using Entity Framework, probably the numbers would be 5 times as high. So basically, we multiply this by 5. This is Entity Framework. 340 milliseconds divided by 5. 68 milliseconds. This is Magic. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.